Hello from Myrtle Beach. Today we're going to give you an update on what was Hurricane Debby is now Tropical Storm Debby. We're going to take a drive down Ocean Boulevard. We're also going to get out on the beach and show you what it looks like as well. And then we're going to head down to Surfside Beach and see if we can get to Garden City Beach. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get that far in because Garden City Beach is definitely prone to flooding. Hi, I'm Carmen. If you're new here, we cover everything Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back. We are so glad to have you with us. So as you know, Hurricane Debby, when it hit in Florida, it traveled over land, sort of went out to sea, and now it is about to come back inland just south of Myrtle Beach as a tropical storm. It will have some high winds, but that is actually not the danger. That's why it's a tropical storm and not a hurricane. The danger is they are predicting heavy flooding in this area. We've already had a ton of rain over the last couple of days, and they're predicting anywhere from 12 to 20 inches more depending on the area. It just depends on the area that you're in. And they are also, we're on what they're calling, and I'm not making this term up, we're on the dirty side of the hurricane. That's what they call it, or the tropical storm in this case. And so they said we were going to have more chance of tornadoes, and there's already been some tornadoes south of here, I think in Savannah, or that area of Savannah. And so once it passes over, we're going to be on like sort of the bad side, so to speak. So it's hitting slightly south of here is the current projection. That could always change. And so this is the day of, because it is supposed to, the eye is supposed to go over us tonight during the middle of the night. And we obviously can't film in the middle of the night. Also, we don't want to be out when it's unsafe. The winds are going to pick up a little later today. So this is Wednesday the 7th, and it is 9:31 a.m. exactly. I always get questions about the time and the date that it's filmed. And for those of you that are concerned, about you're coming either this weekend or you're coming in the near future, we cannot give you advice on what to do because we can't predict exactly what's going to happen. But it is our intention, if we are able to, we obviously have to look after our own property and safety, but if we are able to, it is our intention to do a follow-up video to this and let you know how things look after the storm has passed. But today, like I said, this is the day of, or really it's tonight, but this is the closest thing that we can get, and also the closest time we can get to it and still remain safe. Right now we are between bands of rain. That has actually been the good thing about this storm, if there is anything good about it, is the rain has come in bands. And the reason that's good is it allows the rain to drain before you get another band. So if you're not familiar with this area, Myrtle Beach itself is a little less prone to flooding than, say, Cherry Grove in North Myrtle Beach or Garden City, which is south of Myrtle Beach. But there can still be flooding in Myrtle Beach as well. But when you have those bands like that, it gives all the draining systems time to work before you get the next wave. Because it's so flat here, like even in our neighborhood, we have to be concerned. And we're not right on the ocean front. We're close, but we're not right on the ocean front. We still have to worry about flooding even where we live. So it's definitely a concern. But like I said, the way it's gone so far has been good. Hopefully it will stay somewhat like that in bands and not solid consecutive rain. That's when it becomes a problem. That we are under a flash flood warning. We are under a storm surge warning. That's what's going to hurt those low-lying areas like Cherry Grove and Garden City, is when that storm surge comes in higher than usual. And of course, we're double red flags on the beach. No swimming, no nothing. But I will go down there. You can walk on the beach, you just can't swim. I will definitely go down there and show you what the beach looks like as well. Not sure what's going on here with the fire truck. He's over to the right. Maybe just some maintenance. Can't tell. Hard to tell. He was standing there with a large piece of equipment, so could have been maintenance, could have been something else. So up here you can see the Ferris wheel for Family Kingdom. They are still in their summer season right now, but a lot of businesses are closed right now because of this storm. I'll just try to list off a few I know, but there's going to be way more than this, and we get all kinds of questions. So they're closed due to the weather. They've got a giant red sign there. But I'll list off a few other things that I know for sure are closed. But if you are curious about a specific business and or when they are going to reopen, I recommend you call them directly or go to their website, because there are too many to list. Some of the large ones that are closed, both state parks are closed. So you've got Myrtle Beach State Park. You also have Huntington Beach State Park. They are closed. Brook Green Gardens is closed, the Botanical Gardens, and I do not have an ETO on when they're going to open back up. They are saying we're going to get effects of this tropical storm Debby through Friday. So I wouldn't expect anything to open before Friday. And then depending on the damage that is done, it could be even longer than that before you see some of these places reopen. It just depends on what type of business it is and whether they sustain either flooding or wind damage. Because even though I mentioned the winds are low, there is still the possibility of wind damage. I think the winds are going to be around 60 miles an hour in the Myrtle Beach area, but again, they're estimating. They don't know for sure. So we've had, like I said, rain for 2 days, so that makes the ground wet, so that makes trees more likely to fall over. And we've already had some power outages. Fortunately, we have not been affected, but there have been power outages in this county that we live in. There's the Wicked Tuna and the 2nd Avenue Pier. So the boardwalk currently is to our right, and so that is the oceanfront side, the right side of the road. The left side is Second Row, which is on the left there. Got a few brave souls out here in this weather. I did walk this morning, wore a big rain jacket and weatherproof shoes, because like I mentioned, the rain comes in bands, so you get some breaks in the rain. We're actually in one of the breaks right now. I know it's raining occasionally and we're having to run the wipers, but I wanted to film while it's not too heavy of a rain, because when those bands come, it's raining sideways. Like, you can't really see anything. It's kind of crazy. And it is weird how quickly it changes on a dime. You have no warning and then suddenly it's pouring. And that could happen while we're filming this, but hopefully not, because like I said, I like to get out and give you a view of the beach and that kind of thing. The surf is horribly rough right now, and it's a higher than usual tide because of the storm or storm surge. So this is a low-lying area right here, so sometimes you see water across the road here. Also back at Family Kingdom, there's withers swash there, and that frequently when you have a lot of heavy rain will crest and go into Family Kingdom. So we'll see if that happens overnight. I know the ocean's probably too far to see from here, but we can see the ocean now, and it's white capping as far out as you can see. It's definitely some seriously rough ocean. So has Debby affected any travel plans for you? Not just Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area, but any of your plans? And I know there's something going up in the Northeast as well that's separate from Debby, so lots of crazy weather right now. If you have been personally affected, I am very sorry. We actually had to cut a Disney World trip short. We had to come back early to secure our property. We were supposed to be there through this Friday, or we were leaving Thursday, coming back Friday, and we came back on Monday to secure our property. So it definitely affected us, but fortunately we've had no property issues yet, so we're fingers crossed on that, and we will definitely be thinking about all of you and hope you stay safe if you're in the path or have been in the path. But let us know that in the comments. And also, if this video is something that is interesting to you and it's been helpful for you, definitely give it a thumbs up and a like. We appreciate that. Also, if you'd like to keep up with everything in the Myrtle Beach area, definitely hit that subscribe button, because we will try our best to keep you posted on everything, and definitely at least a weekly video, sometimes 2 a week, to keep you posted on everything going on in the Myrtle Beach area. And for sure, when something like this is happening, as much as we're able to, as long as we stay safe, we will definitely try to bring you as much information as we can.
Pancakes open.
Oh wow, they're hardcore over there. The Olympic Flame Pancake House is staying open for business. So I know you cannot see it, and I have a noise dampening mic so you can't hear it, but even though we're going super slow and we're in a low profile car, we can feel the wind pushing on the car. It's heavy enough to actually, I'm sure that van ahead of us is really feeling it. It's definitely strong enough to actually feel and hear it howl I don't think either of us slept well last night. Brian went outside to check on flooding, and I got up at one point to check a door. So neither one of us have a lot of sleep behind us today. But like I said, so far so good. So if we can get through probably the next 48 hours, I would say we're out of the woods. And like I said, the big issue is flooding. It's not the winds this time. Usually the winds is the big damage concern, but this one, it is the rain. They've been saying it's going to be catastrophic flooding and rainfall. So we'll see. They've backed off of it a hair of what they were originally saying when we decided to make the decision to come home. I think they were saying 15 to 30 inches, and now it's more like 12 to 20. So it's still bad, still very bad, but they have at least backed off of it a tiny bit, which is good. I'm actually surprised to see as many people as we are seeing.
Well, these are people in hotels that are getting out when they can.
Yeah, that's true, between the bands of rain. And yeah, as far as we know, we are not aware of any hotels that have shut down. As Brian showed, the Pancake House is open, so not everything has closed down. And some places will probably remain open their normal hours throughout. So far, there's been no mandatory shutdowns or evacuations. Everything that's been shut down has been up to the individual business. That's why I recommend you call the specific businesses or check their websites. Not all businesses update their websites, so it might be better to call if you're curious. But other than a few of these palm fronds that always fall when we get some wind, we're not seeing a lot of wind stuff yet, but like I said, that's not really the big issue. Brian, can you think of anything else we know of that's closed? Oh, the Marsh Walk. I heard secondhand, so take this with a grain of salt and call the restaurants if you're curious. I heard a lot of the restaurants on the Marsh Walk and Murrells Inlet have already closed, but that was secondhand information, so definitely call them if you want to know for sure. But as far as I know, most of these hotels are open. I don't think any of them shut down. I think people have voluntarily left for various reasons, but like when we came back to return our rental car that we used to drive down, Brian said there were people urgently trying to get cars because their flights had been canceled. So some flights are getting canceled. Look like Magnolia's is still open. I saw people coming out of that. So they are still open and serving breakfast. So yeah, definitely still some stuff open. If you are here or if you are coming here during this, my biggest piece of advice is, yeah, that is a lot of wind. Brian just said, wow, a lot of wind. It's really pushing us hard to the left. Is to park your car as high as you can. So if you're in a deck, get up high in the deck. If you're oceanfront and you don't have a deck, you might want to park it on higher ground somewhere. That would be my biggest piece of advice. Also, if you haven't come yet, check your cancellation policy for your hotel. Make sure that you're able to, leave without penalty, because that is not true of all of them. Here's one of our favorite restaurants here on the right, the Sea Captain's House, and they are apparently still open. There's people going inside. So we're going to head to the beach next and show you what the surf looks like. We have stopped here. This is 31st Avenue. So we are just past the Sea Captain's House. That's the back of the restaurant right there that we just passed on the road. And so I wanted to show you what this crazy surf looks like. So this is the dunes right here. And so you see how close the water is. I mean, it may not show as good. This camera has a lens that may not show like the perspective as good, but this is just crazy how high up it is. I'll also show you on the beach. Let's take a little walk down the beach. This wind is also crazy. I've got a special mic on that hopefully is dampening most of it. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear me. So they've pushed the stands back, as you can see. And wow, this is just nuts how little, and this isn't even the highest point. It's gonna get worse as the day goes on, but it is really up there, definitely up there. This is an up-close view of the surf. You can see how it's eroding the sand right here. They're just eating away of it. That's really sad to see. It really is. Crazy, crazy surf. We're now down to the Springmaid Pier. I thought this might give you a better perspective of just how high this is. I can't even walk under the pier. So that really shows you how far in. There's a look down Myrtle Beach. Crazy rain now. It's going sideways. It's just like I said, it's coming and going periodically, but you can see this insane surf here bashing up against the pier and just how high it is. I actually was able to duck under the pier right there because I'm really short. I did have to duck, but I was able to squeeze under so I could show you this other side. I mean, these waves are just so high. We are now down in Surfside Beach, South Carolina, which is just south of Myrtle Beach. I mean, just a hair south of Myrtle Beach. Here's the River City Cafe. We do have a video of that if you're interested. If you want to find any videos on our channel, all you have to do is search for Carmen and Brian Myrtle Beach and then whatever topic, and it will come up. Also, the Surfside Pier is over to our left. That just opened this year. It was destroyed by Hurricane Matthew and rebuilt and just opened the new one this year. You can see all the eateries here. We're starting to get some, minor road flooding, but like I said, this is at the beginning of the worst part of it. We're right at the arrival day for this tropical storm that was Hurricane Debby, and we're gonna drive down towards Garden City and see how far we can get. I think we'll be okay today because, like I said, we've had a couple of days of rain, but it's been intermittent, and the heaviest is gonna come probably in the next 24 hours. I think that's gonna be the worst of it. And there's the Surfside Beach Police. Now we are getting closer to the border with right into Garden City here. Check out what things look like down on this end. Now, if you're not familiar, Garden City, as you can see, is just south of Surfside Beach, which is south of Myrtle Beach. And Garden City is very prone to flooding, not just from storms, but also just from king tides and other high tide events, or even just really heavy rain. So it's definitely prone. If you're ever going to consider buying property, definitely get something on stilts in this area for sure. Don't buy a ground level home would be my personal advice. And I mean, I personally, I know people love Garden City Beach, and I do too. It's a beautiful beach, but I personally, it's just a little too flood prone for me, because you can see there's already water gathering, and we're nowhere near the worst of this that's coming in the next 24 hours. But we'll drive as far down this direction as we can and take a look at this. We're not quite to the Garden City Pier, so there's a lot of water there for sure. So let us know, do you stay in Myrtle Beach? Do you stay in North Myrtle Beach? Do you stay south in either Surfside or Garden City? Let us know which is your favorite area to stay in. Obviously we love Myrtle Beach, but we also love the surrounding area. There's just so much to see and do, and it's also close together. You can stay at any of these places and still enjoy all of the entertainment and things that Myrtle Beach has to offer. Also, let us know, have you ever weathered a hurricane or tropical storm here in Myrtle Beach? Let us know, whether you're local or not. Just let us know in the comments. We, as many of you may know, if you're new to our channel, welcome, but those of you who've been with us, you know we had a vacation home here, a second home for about 20 years, and then a couple of years ago we moved here permanently, and there have been 2 named major storms before this one that hit Ian and Adalia. People say that 20 different ways. I've even heard the newscasters all say it different ways, so you can feel free to correct me, but that's my best pronunciation. And also, though, we had a nor'easter tear through here last December that was terrible, and it didn't even have a name, and it was awful. It caused really bad flooding and damage. So we've really been through 3, just one of them did not have a name since we moved here. Now, obviously, while we had our vacation home here, several really bad hurricanes hit the area, but that's what's nice when it's a second home. You go back to your other home to stay safe. When you live here, you don't have that option. There's a lot of water gathering right there. So you can see how low-lying this is compared to Myrtle Beach. There's just a lot. We filmed this just minutes after the filming that we did in Myrtle Beach, and you can see that the roads are already starting to flood here, whereas in Myrtle, they were totally fine. So you can see the difference in this low-lying area. And you can also tell how most of the houses are on stilts, and I believe they require that any new properties that are built here have to be on stilts. I believe. You can correct me if I'm incorrect about that, but I think I read something about that. So up here is where you see this stoplight. This is sort of the central part of Garden City Beach. On the left is the pier, and on the right you've got some eateries, an arcade. I think they have some go-karts. They have some restaurants to my right, so quite a few things on that little street right there. Ooh, barefoot, yikes. I would not want to walk in that water barefoot. A lot of people don't know this, but the storm water is incredibly dirty and full of bacteria, so I don't recommend walking around barefoot, but whatever. To each their own, I guess. I guess your shoes don't get wet that way, but I've got waterproof hiking shoes on today, keeping my feet nice and dry, which I'm very grateful for. Okay.
Not safe.
Yeah, definitely not safe in this weather. Maybe he has four-wheel drive, but you're still pressing your luck even with four-wheel drive. So they have actually started barricading the beach here. We're going to turn around for safety reasons, but right up here you can see what they're doing with the sand to sort of barricade the beach and keep as much erosion from happening as possible. If you're in the path of this storm, definitely stay safe. If you'd like to learn more about Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area, be sure to click on the video on your screen right now. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.